Hey guys, I'm cmasupra, and I think Company of Heroes 2 might have some rendering issues. These guys are red. They're German colors, they are red. No, I'm just kidding. It's because my mouse is over them. Lame joke. So anyways, welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 video. We are playing on Kolodny Firma non-winter battlefield. I still don't know if it's summer or spring or what it is, it's just not winter, so there's no snow. Before we get on to this match, I actually want to say the past 7 games I've played in auto match, like all the games I played today and yesterday, have all been in the non-winter versions of maps. I don't know what happened to snow. Was it removed at some point and I was just not aware of that? I don't know. If it was removed, they need to bring it back. If I was just unlucky, then that is that. So, like I said, we're playing on Kolodny Firma, non-winter battlefield, and I am playing as the Russians because the last 2 videos, as far as I'm aware, at least the last one, I've been playing as the Germans, so I felt like, let's get some games as the Russians, get better at the Russians, because I'm actually not that good at the Russians. And so my opponent is the Germans. So let's go ahead and unpause the video. And the topic for this video is shock troops, and this one guy felt really motivated to build that structure while the other 3 just wanted to sit at the base. Well, at least they cooperated in the end, so that is good, even if one is only motivated and not the other ones. So playing as the Russians, the first thing you should always build, unless you're doing a really unusual strategy, is build the conscript squads because they cost the same amount as a combat engineer squad, but they can actually fight against German units. So my first engineer squad, the default one, I do send down here to the bottom parts of the map to capture points, and my first conscript squad, I'm sending over here to this point in the middle, and then I'm going to send it up north where it can capture other points and possibly encounter German pioneers, because I know that when I'm playing as the Germans, I like to send my pioneers to the top and bottom, not to the middle. So sending conscripts to the top might encounter some pioneers, and they'd obviously win against pioneers. So like I said, the topic for this video is going to be shock troops, and I didn't really expand on that like I meant to, so let me expand on it now. Shock troops is one of the doctrinal units. It is something you can get in the anti-infantry tactics. I believe there's 1 or 2 other doctrines that give it to you, but this is the only one that I have equipped, and it's also a premium doctrine. So some of you will not have this available, but it is my favorite one out of all the ones that give you shock troops, because I actually don't know why, because I can't remember the other one or the other 2 that have shock troops. But I have this one, and this is what I'm going to be faking in this game, and thus I'll be getting shock troops at 1 command point because they're so cheap in terms of CPs, but in terms of manpower they're actually 480. But we'll talk about that later. I'll just go ahead and say right now that shock troops saved me at one point in this game. I'm not going to say they saved me in this whole game because I'm not going to say who won or lost, but I will say that at one point in this game they definitely saved me and prevented me from losing at that time. So it's a secret whether I won or lost. Let's see if I can keep it a secret, because I always have trouble doing that, because I already know what's going to happen in the game because I played it. So, my build order, I built I didn't build a combat engineer squad. I had 1 combat engineer squad, and then I built 3 conscript squads, and the 2nd and 3rd squads, I'm not quite sure where I sent them. I obviously didn't send them to the top. I guess this was the 2nd squad. I sent it to capture the middle victory point, and then I sent it down here because I saw pioneers were here capturing my stuff, and I wanted my stuff. So I came here to take it back with violence and force and fire, because that's totally ethical, throwing fire bombs at enemies. There's a reason flamethrowers were banned after World War II from the whole world in wars, so I don't think these Molotovs are too ethical, but whatever. I am given Molotovs, I will take them. And I always buy Molotovs, by the way, after my 2nd or 3rd conscript squad, because Molotovs will tip the tide in your favor very, very easily, and they're cheap. They're 15 munitions. You can spam that as Russians, because when you're playing as Russians, you really do float a lot of munitions. At least I do, anyways. Now this is quite an interesting battle over here. He really wants this point. I don't know why he really wants this munitions point, but he does, and it might just be because he knows I have Molotovs, it might be because he wants to use a lot of rifle grenades, he might be wanting Panther Shreks. I don't know why he's wanting it. He just really wants his munitions point right here. So I am doing my best not to give it to him, and I also would like to have it because I'm using Molotovs a lot, as well as Ura, but I am clearly losing this fight and I should really retreat. There you go. I was actually waiting to retreat this engineer squad until this conscript squad got away because it had so little health, and there is a gap in there. I already knew that, I just didn't know that I knew that. This squad is very low health, and retreating does not save your squads as easily as it did in Company of Heroes 1, so I always try to retreat earlier in this game, which may actually help me in Company of Heroes 1, by the way, just a random fact, because I always have a tendency of retreating late in Company of Heroes 1. Maybe this game will make me better at Company of Heroes 1. Anyways, totally off topic. So he's coming to get this munitions point. I almost had it captured, but he managed to halfway capture it back to his zone. And now there's an LMG-42 squad up there. He wants LMG-42s, that's why he wants this. Ah, now I know. So I didn't stand a chance there. Ended up retreating once I noticed that I was losing that, but all while that was going on, I had my first conscript squad up in the top of the map capturing everything. And he sent a pioneer squad to go capture some of the stuff, but little does he know that I have a conscript squad up here, and his pioneer squad does not stand a chance until... well, they don't stand a chance, period. I was going to say until he sees the conscripts, but no, they don't stand a chance, period, as long as I see him. So he needs to retreat, but he's not retreating. There he goes. I think he just realized that his squad was under attack up here. He was busy doing other things, like capturing the middle victory point, which I don't want him to do. Oh well, it's only a victory point, and it's not going to hurt me. Same here. It's only a victory point. It's not going to help him win the game until later in the game. In the early game, you always want resource points. Victory points are not going to win you the game, unless you're going for a really fast win and you don't want to plan for the long term, which some people do. That's how I play as the Americans, is I just go for an early win in Company of Heroes 1. Why do I keep going back to that game? I don't know. So I've actually done a really nice flank. His MG was here. I knew it was here. I actually thought it was like back here, but it was moved up, so it was even better for me. And I was trying to flank his MG. He just picked it up, moved, and then his infantry supported the MG, so good on him. He had infantry supporting the MG. But I pulled a good flank. If only I had known he had so much infantry here, I would not have tried to pull it off. But luckily I was able to throw a Molotov and force the retreat of one of his squads. So that's one less squad he has here, although mine had to retreat as well, which is obviously not good, so I guess it was kind of a balanced trade-off. These guys have 2 men left. Maybe not. Maybe I lost that one. But I thought it was a nice flank if only I had known that he had so much infantry there. Good retreat. He did not have a chance against Flamer Engineers. Now, you might notice, let's go into the TAC map view. My opponent is cutting me off from everything up north by capturing this one point right here. That's all he had to do was capture that one point, plus this point, but this point was decapped a little bit earlier. So he had to capture this one point, and that was all it took to cut me off from the whole map, basically. So he actually has more map control than I do, looking at the TAC map. He's getting way more income than I am. So this is not good for me. I have fewer fuel, fewer munitions, same manpower, basically. So this is not good. And there's also the fact that his infantry is stronger than mine. So I'm actually losing a lot of fights. I mean, this is a fight I'm clearly going to lose. It's 2v1. I don't have a chance here. I just didn't notice this engagement was going on. I was too busy doing other things. There we go. Finally noticed that 1 man left. I was busy capturing the middle point, and you may also notice I had a mortar. I built a mortar. It's not the 200mm mortar, or the 205, whatever it is. It's not that one. It's not the doctrinal one. It's just the one that you build in Tier 2 for 240 manpower, as the Russians. I'll actually talk a little bit more about that. So I know a lot of people like to build a special rifle command because it's kind of what you do. Or once again, going back to Company of Heroes 1, but it's kind of what you do in Company of Heroes 1 when you're playing as Americans, is you build your barracks. But I don't really see the special rifle command being that useful in this game, because your conscripts come at Tier 0, and those are your rifles, essentially. So I prefer to build the support weapon company. I'm not going to say that word, compañía, I guess. I don't know. But support weapon company, so I can get a mortar and possibly an MG, but I would really want it for the mortar and the ZIS AT gun, because countering German armor is quite difficult as the Russians if you don't have an AT gun, and I have a lot of trouble down teching. Like if I build tier 3, this one, that my mouse is over, I have a lot of trouble building this one to get the ZIS AT gun when armor shows up. So I build this one, and it actually works out quite well for me as the Russians. I think a lot of people are starting to do that now as well. I think when the game first came out, a lot of people built the Special Rifle Command first. So I have managed to get out of this base pin. This is the first base pin of the game, one of at least a few of them, and I have successfully gotten out, so that is good. I mean, I have been losing a lot of fights. I have, but that's just because his infantry is simply better than mine, especially with the LMG 42s, the MGs supporting his infantry. He has Vet 1 on some infantry as well, but that doesn't actually affect their fighting capability. If we click on them, it unlocks First Aid Veteran ability, so it just gives them First Aid. It allows them to heal other units. It doesn't let them heal themselves, it lets them heal other units, interestingly enough. And it encourages blobbing. That's a great mechanic. So, his infantry is overall better than mine. I'm losing a lot of fights that, yeah, I had no chance there, just retreat. And so that's causing an issue for me. Luckily, I do have a mortar, like I said, because I do want the mortar. Mortars are so overpowered in this game. They're actually not overpowered in this particular match. They don't do a lot of killing, but normally they're quite overpowered in this game, that I found. So I decided to get a mortar, and it is actually helping me quite a bit because I know his MG is right here. Every time I remember to, I do choose to barrage this area because I know his MG is there. This squad is so screwed right here, and I'm sending in an MG. Like, I might as well build the MG right, because the Maxim MG is pretty underrated. It's pretty good. I think a lot of people discount how good it is. It's not going to be good against 4 squads like this. No MG is going to be that good, especially when they have the rifle grenades. They don't stand a chance. The MG didn't stand a chance there, so it got decrewed, but the Maxim MG is actually pretty good. So I decided to build one, and it didn't last very long. Now I could recrew that, but I don't want to lose this whole squad, and throughout the whole game, neither me nor my opponent actually chooses to recrew that, because the situation just doesn't need another MG. So I don't actually end up recruiting it, neither does he, because he feels like he doesn't want a Maxim MG when he has MG42s, right? So, looking at here, I did go for Molotovs very early in the game, and then I went with field infantry. I have not gone with AT grenades yet, and that's because I don't think I'm going to need them anytime soon. There's no signs of light vehicles showing up, and the heavy tanks are a little ways away. I don't think he has enough of fuel income to get the heavy tanks yet, so I'm not really worried about them yet. Now, I have started building tier 3, so I can get T-34s, because I do kind of fear the heavy armor showing up, but I'd like some form of AT in addition to my... Oh, I don't have an AT gun yet. I'll get one later, but I wanted some form of AT period, I guess. And so I went with the T-34. I would have gotten a T-70 because I like it, but it's only good against infantry, not so much German tanks, and I needed something that was decent against German tanks. So I didn't go with the T-70, I went with the T-34. Now here you will notice I have finally gone for shock troops, and I only picked this doctrine because I wanted shock troops, because at this point I was kind of pinned into my base and I'm losing a lot of engagements. As I said, I've been losing engagements this whole game pretty much, and so his infantry is dominating me. There's no sign of vehicles from him and heavy tanks or light vehicles, so I decided to go with shock troops because I had heard that they were really good against infantry, and it also says they're effective at close range combat, which tells me they have a lot of Pepeshkas probably, so they're probably good against infantry. And it turns out they are. They have Pepeshka 42s, 41s, one of the two. The one that had a 71 round drum mag, and so I got them, and we're gonna watch them save the day for me. Get me out of this base pit. So this T-34 did kill the MG that was right in this area over here. And now it's being shot at by an AT gun, so I have to get it out of there, and I tell my shock troops to come and kill the AT gun. All 4 men on it. Kill it. Oh, the grenade did nothing because he backed up. He knew the grenade was coming, but oh, he's not backing up further. Oh, that's a big mistake right there, dude. Yeah. That's a big mistake. There goes your AT gun, and now I have 2 grenadier squads to deal with, one of which has an LMG-42, but there's no more pack, so I can bring in my T-34, and oh wow, you recrewed your AT gun. You wanted it that badly against my T-34? Well, that's just too bad, isn't it? In reality, you'll see why he wanted that. There's another reason he wanted that AT gun. You'll see it a little bit later, if I remember to tell you. But hopefully I will. So he really wanted that AT gun, didn't work out for him though. So between my T-34 and my shock troops, I saved the day. Shock troops have 10 infantry kills. It did not take them very long at all to get those 10 kills. They were in 1 engagement right here. That was it. Just 1 engagement. So shock troops are very good. Their downside is that they have no AT capabilities, and they cost 480 munitions. That is or manpower, not munitions. Infantry that costs a ton of munitions, that would be crazy. But no, they cost 480 manpower, which is basically 2 squads worth. In fact, it's exactly 2 squads worth, 240 times 2. So it costs 2 conscript squads, but you get really good infantry rather than okay infantry that's okay against light vehicles and okay against infantry. You get infantry that is just really good against infantry. Now here you can see he's recruited his AT gun once again, and that was the first thing he did when he showed up here, and then the squad retreated as fast as they could. What kind of a run is that? That looks a little weird. Oh, because he has an LMG-42. That's why it looks so weird. It looked a little weird. So yeah, he recruited his AT gun very quickly as he, or as soon as he was up to it, he recruited it because he really wants it. Like I said, you'll see later on why he really wants it. It's not just to kill my T-34. So I know that he's pushed back out of his base, but using shock troops, I'd actually cut him off from the bottom part of the map. Not the top, but just the bottom. And so he did push back. He's recapturing the bottom. My mortar, I have moved up to here so it can hit everything. I cannot show you the range on it. Darn. Oh well, its range is not as big as the 200 or 205 mil mortar that comes with one of the doctrines Soviets get. Soviets get, I think. Because in this case it would still be plural. So I had moved it up, but sadly, this thing showed up. I heard it through the fog of war, and I saw it crushing stuff. I was like, oh god, what heavy tank has my opponent brought? I have no AT. This is not good. So it turns out it's a Panther. I was actually kind of relieved to see it was a Panther, because the only tank I have is a T-34, and in case you don't know, the Panther is only good against tanks and other vehicles. It really sucks against infantry. I mean, watch it try to kill this shock troop squad. Just watch how hard it's trying to kill the squad. It's actually going to kill 1 man, and that's it. In fact, while it's sitting here shooting at my shock troop squad, get words out. I AT grenaded it, so its engine is hurt, and then his MG showed up, but I had to retreat. But I did AT grenade it, so his engine is hurt, and that means it's not so mobile, and he's also going to be kind of scared to use it now. So he has to repair it before he's going to want to really use it. But like I said, he only killed 1 man in the shock troop squad, 5 men in it, if you can see that. You can see it up here at the top right. 5 men. And so it didn't really do much against infantry. He was even shooting at my mortar. Even at the infantry that have no cover, such as these front guys, it's not killing them. This might have been kind of stupid of me. I sent my T-34 in to kind of hurt the Panther because I thought the T-34 could penetrate it from the side, because the side armor was showing, but apparently not. Panther has too much armor for that, so I quickly moved my T-34 over here, where I had infantry to take care of, and he could have Panzerfausted me here, but he chose not to. I don't know why he chose not to, but he didn't, so I am happy he didn't. And oh, what's the squad doing? Oh, it turns out the AT gun's decrewed. I was actually charging up here to decrew the AT gun, but they actually decrewed it when they were right here at this tree, which was kind of funny. When I was watching the replay before doing this shoutcast, I guess you can call it, I saw that they killed it while they were standing next to that tree after they left the house, so that was kind of funny. When I was playing the game, I charged up here like, oh, this AT gun's decrewed. I did not expect that. And we're going to capture this point, and the MG on top is the only thing doing any damage to this conscript squad, but it's going to be killing my squad very soon here, and there it goes. I did capture the point, however, so my opponent is cut off entirely from the bottom of the map. This is great. So he's lost quite a few resources. I basically base-pinned him like he base-pinned me. He's only connected to a few resources. He does have others on the map, but he's not connected to them, which was the exact same case I was in. So the tides have turned. He had at one point pushed me back all the way, but now I have pushed him back and even cut him off quite a bit. And I did get out of the pin the first time just by using my infantry, but then the second time I'd actually lost so much that I had to use shock troops. So shock troops got me out of that one base pin, the second one. So now I built a ZIS, which is one of the reasons that I do build the support weapon Compania. And the reason I even built it was just for the Panther, because I knew the Panther wasn't going to go killing my infantry. I wasn't too worried about it, but I figured I could afford the ZIS, and I just wanted to get rid of the Panther, make my opponent less likely to charge onto me, because he does only have 121 victory points remaining. If I can keep him from pushing onto me, it will be good for me, because I'll drain his victory points more, and then he'll charge when it's too late, and he can no longer win. I know I make that mistake quite often. So I'm capturing points in the bottom. I'm not capturing points in the top because I actually don't have any infantry available to send up to the top. But if I can hold the bottom and the middle, I will be good to go. Oh, hello, Panzerwerfer. Let's get out of that. I actually didn't care that it was firing at me. I knew it was firing right here, but I didn't care at all because I knew that the Panzerwerfer and the Katyusha both are really weak in this game. They were really strong in Men of War, if you guys ever played that game. So I always think in this game, like, oh yeah, Katyusha, Panzerwerfer, my opponent is so screwed when I get one, but in reality, no, they're really not, because they're not that strong in this game. So I knew it was coming right here, but I didn't care. I wanted just to keep the point. So I just stood here and took the blow. Didn't lose very much to the Panzerwerfer, maybe killed 2 guys, I think. So not too bad. The Panther once again has a damaged engine. What does the game call it? Engine damage, okay. Yeah, damage engine. My T-34 is here. He's doing quite a good push over here into this victory point, the southern victory point. Unluckily for him, though, I have 2 Vet 2 squads, and his LMGs are not going to be enough to take care of me. One of his squads is Vet 2, the one retreating is Vet 2, the one left is not Vet 2. And he's not going to be able to do this. Sadly, while all that was happening, he killed my T-34. Here's the wreckage for it. I tried reversing, but the T-34's front armor cannot handle a Panther shooting at it. Totally unlike real life, but whatever. This game is not claiming to be realistic in any way, shape, or form. Same as Company of Heroes 1, it did not claim to be realistic. So, whatever. T-34 could not bounce any of the shots for the Panther, and the Panther killed my T-34, but luckily it does have a damage engine, so it's kind of just stuck roaming around really slowly until he's able to repair it. And is he going to be able to repair it? Here's a Pioneer squad. Does he have any others? He only has the 1 Pioneer squad, and that's all the way back here, and his Panther is up here. And I see you crushing those hedges through the fog of war. I am going to bring my AT gun up to kill you. And here is one of his big mistakes. He backed up. Actually, maybe that wasn't a big mistake. I mean, he didn't know what I had up here. In reality, if he had gone forward, he would have been able to get past my AT gun and possibly kill it. But he backed up instead because he didn't know what I had in the middle. So that was kind of a mistake on his part, but to his knowledge, it was the best that he could do. So that was actually it. That was kind of a short game, 23 minutes on the dot, or... darn it, I did the math before I started. How many seconds is that? Oh well, doesn't matter. So he tried to attack the bottom BP when I had all 3, and he had 100 BPs remaining, but it didn't work out for him. I managed to hold it, the bottom and the middle, and at the top he didn't even try to attack it. I only had 1 Pioneer squad up here, so he easily could have attacked it. I had them laying mines. Yeah, you can see those mines. Let's see if I can get them to show. those mines right there. I had him lay mines just right next to the victory point because I wanted some protection other than just the engineer squad. But he never came up here, so he didn't know that it was wide open for his taking. He focused on the bottom and the south mainly. But anyways, like I said, the point of this game it was supposed to be the shock troops, these guys over here, who had 10 kills. So basically they only got me out of my base pin with the support of a T-34 one time. But that was a pretty bad base pin, because at that time my opponent was winning all the engagements, not my engagements. And I needed something to take care of his infantry and get out of the base pin that I was in. And the shock troops were the key, so they actually saved me and helped me win this game. Yeah, I won, in case you didn't notice that. Oh, I may not have ever said why he wanted that pack gun. Where is the pack gun anyway? That's a good question. Oh, there it is. So the reason he wanted this was because he had intentions of building a Panther, and he didn't want me to have a pack against his Panther. So that's why he wanted it. That was the extra reason. I just didn't want to spoil that he was getting a Panther. So I didn't tell it at that time when he was trying so hard to get the pack. But that's why he wanted it so bad, was he was trying to get a Panther. Anyways, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Shock troops for the win. I will be definitely using them. Is that correct English? I will definitely be using them in the future when I need anti-infantry capabilities. They're just really expensive. That's really their only downside. The AT, or the lack of AT, is not too big of a deal when you have some conscripts to go with them. But yeah, shock troops are awesome. Expensive, but awesome. Anyways, guys, like I said, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.